Hello, I'm Reverend Dr. Jeffrey Goodine, pastor of Church on Wheels Spoken Word out of Orange City, Florida. And this is Passion Week 2023, Wednesday of Passion Week. Now, we covered Sunday, which was Palm Sunday, which was Jesus' entry into Jerusalem. Monday was when he overturned the tables in the temple. Tuesday is recorded that he taught in the temple, that he was teaching in the temple, and the people were, the powers that be were angry at him. Well, today is Wednesday. Wednesday is considered the day of rest. Wednesday is considered the day of rest. And that is recorded in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And I'll be reading from the King James Version today for Wednesday. Wednesday, Passion Week. Wednesday, the significance of Wednesday is it is a day of rest. Now, Matthew chapter 26, starting at verse 6. Matthew chapter 26, starting at verse 6. And I'll be reading from the King James Version. Now when Jesus was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment may have been sold for much, and given to the poor. When Jesus understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done, be told for a memorial of her. Then it says, Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests, and said unto them, What will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he sought opportunity to betray him. Now that is Matthew's account of Wednesday. Mark chapter 14, starting at verse 3. Mark chapter 14, starting at verse 3. And being in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, and as he sat at meat, there came a woman having an alabaster box of ointment, and spikenard very precious. And she brake the box and poured it on his head. And there were some that had indignation within themselves, and said, Why was this waste of the ointment made? For it might have been sold for more than 300 pence, and have been given to the poor. And they murmured against her. And Jesus said, Let her alone. Why trouble ye her? She hath wrought a good work on me. For ye have the poor with you always, and whensoever ye will, ye may do them good. But me ye have not always. She hath done what she could. She is come aforehand to anoint my body to the burying. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached throughout the world, this also that she hath done shall be spoken of for a memorial of her. And then it goes on to say, And Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, went unto the chief priests to betray him unto them. And when they heard it, they were glad, and promised to give him money. And he sought how he might conveniently betray him. Now that is Mark's account of Wednesday. Luke has a different perspective on it. Luke chapter 22, starting at verse 3. And this is on Wednesday. Then entered Satan into Judas, surnamed Iscariot, being of the number of the 12. And he went his way and communed with the chief priests and captains, how he might betray him unto them. And they were glad and covenanted to give him money. And he promised and sought opportunity to betray him unto them in the absence of the multitude. Well, this is Wednesday. Wednesday is the day of rest. And this is when we see that Jesus was anointed for burial. Now, nobody else knew, but this woman that Jesus said that whenever you speak of me, you will speak of this woman. Whenever you speak of him going to the cross, you will also speak of this woman. This woman poured that expensive oil on him, or ointment, and the disciples were upset because they said that they could have taken this to spend and made some money and give to the poor. But Jesus said, well, you will always have the poor, but me, I will not be with you always. She was anointing me for burial, which means Jesus let them know that that was part of the prophecy, that usually they are anointed for burial. So Jesus, on Wednesday, resting at Simon the leper's house, he was anointed for his burial. They thought she was wasting the oil, but she was anointing him for his burial. Now, one other significance of this is that Jesus was hanging out with the lepers. Simon the leper, he was known to have leprosy. So people kind of avoided him. But Jesus communed with him. In fact, on Wednesday, Jesus rested at his house. Rested at his house. And that's where he was anointed for his burial. And Jesus said that whenever you speak of this thing, you will always speak of her, anointing him for his burial. So on Wednesday, in Passion Week, the significance of Wednesday is the day of rest. And on that day, Jesus was resting at the house of Simon the leper. And that's where he was anointed for his burial. That's Wednesday, Passion Week. Well, I'm Reverend Dr. Jeffrey Goodine, pastor of Church and Will Spoken Word. And this has been another Wednesday of Passion Week 2023. Wednesday, Passion Week 2023. The day of rest. May God have mercy on our soul.